Hey guys, welcome to Outdoor Stuff. This week I am back out on the barbecue. I'm also doing some other stuff in the garden, but because it's been about 6 weeks since I've fired at the barbecue, I thought why the hell not. So if the idea of pulled pork on the Web of Smoky Mountain floats your boat, stick around, and remember, while this intro's on, drop a like and subscribe to my channel. So as always, I'm going to be going through all the processes in preparing the pork, how I'm setting up the barbecue, that sort of thing. But we can't do that in here, so let's pop over to the kitchen. Hey guys, welcome to the kitchen. Today I've got a pork butt or pork shoulder, going to turn it into some pulled pork. This is just a piece from my local supermarket. It's about 1.5 kilos, quite a small one. Not going to take that long on the barbecue today. I'm not feeding that many, in fact I'm only feeding me. This has got the skin on. Normally I guess with this you'd make crackling out of it on the joint. What I'm going to do, because that doesn't render down very well on the smoker, I'm going to take that skin off. But I'm not throwing it away because I'm going to cook the skin separately in the oven, and I'll have that later with my pulled pork, and that'll be delicious. Things you're going to need today to prepare it. Obviously a sharp knife, because we're going to cut that fat off and do a bit of trimming up. You're going to need a rub, which I'll tell you about in a minute. You're going to need a tray. So I'm going to put that tray underneath the pork while it's cooking on the smoker to catch some of the juices, and then for the second half on a wrap I'm going to put the pork in those juices and it'll be great. You're going to need some foil to wrap it, some oil to act as a binder, and then thermometers. So for the thermometers I've obviously got my Smoke ThermoWorks Smoke, which will tell me the temperature on the barbecue, and I've got a probe which will go in the pork. And then I've also got an instant read thermometer to check the temperature of the pork when we're getting sort of close to business time. So first things first, let's get this pork prepared. Okay, so skin on the pork. What I'm going to be doing is just taking that off. So what I like to do is lift up one of the corners and just with a sharp knife sort of sharpen this. This is just a standard paring knife. You can use a proper butcher's knife if you've got one. But just start cutting under the fat. And sort of, you don't want to cut too much into the meat at this point, but take away as much of the fat as you can. And just keep cutting, the flap will get bigger, and then you can, so if I try and do this left-handed, so you can see you're sort of cutting away at the fat very gently. You can do it not gently if you want, but I'm just going to take my time, get this fat off, and just keep going like that until it's all off. Okay, so just put that to one side, and then just give the pork butt a bit of a check over. What you want to make sure that you've not left any hard pieces of fat on the top of the pork butt. Just try and get those off where you can, and any sort of bits of obvious cartilage, etc. There's a bit more on there, so just give it a good general trim. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that now. I've left a bit of the fat on this side, just to give it a bit of a, you don't want to take all the fat off. So next thing's to get the rub on. So for the rub, it's brown sugar, smoked paprika, cayenne powder, garlic powder, mustard powder, and black pepper. So once you've got your rub prepared, just sprinkle it over and make sure you get a really good covering on all sides of the pork. And once you're happy that you're covered, that's ready for the barbecue. So, to light the barbecue today, I've got one chimney full of, I'm using Weber briquettes today. Thought I'd give those a go. And so I've got one chimney full in the chimney starter, and then in the bottom of the barbecue I've got full to the brim on the tray, or in the sort of like coal catcher there, and that's about 2 more chimneyfuls, I guess, because we're looking for a long cook today. Okay, so we're reassembled and all of the vents are open. We'll just let that come up to temperature. Okay, so pork's ready to go on the barbecue. In terms of temperatures today, I'm going to be looking at 110 on the smoker, and I'll be looking for internal temperature of this between 92 and 95 degrees. That's the point at which the fat breaks down. And I'll also be wrapping it around 70 to 75 degrees, because that's when the stool starts to happen. That's when the moisture's evaporating. It's not really getting higher in temperature. You notice that if you're following it on your temperature gauge, you'll see it get to a point and then plateau. That's the stool. That's the point at which I'll wrap it, and then we'll take that a bit further in the wrap, and then we'll put it at the end. So yeah, 110 temperature of the smoker, 75-ish is when we're going to wrap, and then between 92 and 95 is when we'll take it off and give it a rest. I'm expecting today around, for a bit of pork this size, maybe around 7 hours, 8 hours. It's not that big, so it shouldn't take too long. Although 8 hours is quite a long time, but does give you enough time to get on with some stuff. So let's get this on the barbecue and get on. So pork is on, drip tray's under, probe set up. I've got apple wood in the fire bowl, ready to go. So now your pork is on the barbecue. You've got a good 3-4 hours, depending on the size, maybe even longer. Remember, you're not interested in time, you're interested in temperature. Don't be lifting the lid, don't be looking, because while you're looking, it's not cooking, is the phrase, I think. That's how it goes. So ample opportunity for you to get on with some stuff. Today I'm out in the garden, so I'll be doing a bit of this. I'm not going to go into that during this video. You can catch up with my garden renovation in a future video. So we'll come back later when the pork is done. So I'm at around 76 degrees on the temperature gauge. The pork's now well into the stool, so we're going to go straight into the wrap. And for the wrap, I'm just putting the pork in the tray that I put under it earlier to catch all the juices. Keep the juices in there. You can add a bit more liquid if you want, either some apple juice or some cider. I'm not in this case. Wrap the top with foil, and essentially you're doing a braise then for the next few hours until we're up to temperature. Looking at 95 for the internal of the pork. So we're well into the wrap now, so it's about time we started thinking about sides to go with the pulled pork. Today I'm going classic mac and cheese, classic side dish for barbecue food, so I'll be going through that in a minute. And I'm also doing some crackling, like I mentioned earlier. That skin that I took off, I'm going to be crisping that up, because who doesn't like crispy crackling? So the skin that I took off the pork today has been drying out in the fridge, and that is now sliced into pieces and on this baking tray. I've not had any salt or anything like that, but I am just going to weigh it down with a baking dish. That's going to go in my oven as hot as my oven can go, just so it doesn't curl up. We'll leave that in there for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll take this off and let it really crisp up for the final, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. Not sure what the timings, just keep an eye on it really until you can see it going crispy, and then take it out. Once you've got your topping on, it's ready for the oven, or in my case, I'm whacking it on the smoker right next to the pork while that finishes off, and I'm adding another chunk of apple wood to get some extra flavour in this mac and cheese. I think it's going to be nice. Hey guys, end of the day here on Matt Does Stuff. Today I've been out in the garden, and I've had the barbecue on, and I've done some pulled pork, some mac and cheese and some pork crackling. Actually I did that in the oven, not on a barbecue. I've also been getting all some stuff out in the garden, which you can catch in one of my other videos, but for now, let's see what this pork looks like. So this is pork. You can see all its lovely cooking juices there. I'm going to leave those there, just mix all that with the pork, adds to the flavour. So let's get on and see if this pull's right. So I am really pleased with the way that this has turned out. It smells delicious, looks great. Let's have a taste. Get some of that juice on there. That is luxury. Slight heat from the chili I used in the rub, but soft, juicy, tender and delicious. Great stuff. I've also got my mac and cheese here. which is looking lovely. So I'm just going to load up a plate and see what that looks like. So there we have it, mac and cheese, pulled pork, pork crackling. What more do you want? Well, apart from a delicious beer, that is. Today I'm having an Arbor My Little Sabroni. So let's get tucked into that. That is delicious. I'm going to have a little taste of the mac and cheese. That is tasting great. Oh, it's like a warm blanket on a cold day, that is. Great stuff. Right, I'm going to get amongst this. You stay safe, get some stuff done.